Hello, everyone. We're here once again with yet another live stream. This time, the topic is Wayward Sons and Wayward Legends, which, I'll get to explaining what the difference is between those and kind of giving you a bit of background. It's actually the longest running out of all of the series that we have. So, but it has kind of the widest impact on the absolute comics universe, primarily because it literally is a history that dates back to 5,000 years ago. So we have quite literally 5,000 years of comic history. So you've got two different books. You've got Wayward Legends and Wayward Sons. And obviously the Wayward being the connecting tissue in the title. It started out as a webcomic that went by the name of Wayward Sons Legends. Terrible title. That was not my intention originally. Originally, this series was literally created as a movie script titled Wayward Sons. The producers had asked me to create an underlying property in the form of a comic book. And so I thought, well, I don't want to just do the movie script. Instead, what I want to do is create the backstory, because the tagline is 5,000 years ago, two groups of aliens crash landed on Earth, and the resulting war between them would inspire every myth, legend, and fairy tale in human history. So, keeping that in mind, I decided, since Wayward Sons is set in the modern day, I wanted to do a story that gave that backstory, the 5,000 years of backstory, and kind of start at the beginning and go chronologically. And they convinced me to title the I did it as a webcomic because our point was to get more audience than anything else. And so but they wanted it to still say Wayward Sons because Wayward Sons was going to be the movie. So I did Wayward Son. I wanted to title it from the beginning as Wayward Legends, and they convinced me to title it Wayward Sons Legends, which makes absolutely no sense. But I went along with it because, you don't argue with producers unless it's like absolutely necessary. And we launched it on KeenSpot, which you can still read it for free on KeenSpot. I'll give you that link if you want. Here is posting that. It's also listed down below in the info on YouTube. But you can go there and literally read. It started in June of 2010 and ran all the way through over 3 years, I believe. It was daily, full page daily, and at its height, literally millions of people had read Wayward Legends. So it was a fun book, a fun series, and a lot of people really loved it. We ended up doing, as you can see, 4 collected volumes. These are the hardcovers without their dust jackets. So on and so forth. We are selling these not on our Dragon Con thing. They're kind of a blowout price on our Shopify. If you're interested, I believe they're in the link down below, or you can just go to our web page, link through it through Facebook, etc. They are available as a huge discount because what happened was we ended up. It's a sad story. we had a studio named Twinkle Planet Studio that was handling the artwork, and Eugene Yang, sorry, was the inker for the series, but he also was my point of contact over in China, handling the whole studio. And he was the only one who spoke English, and unfortunately, he was hit by a bus. My last contact from him was they were late on pages. I contacted him. He said, "Hey, my parents he was very young. He was early 20s. He said, my parents just brought me my iPad. I was hit by a bus, terrible accident. I think I'll be okay." And then disappeared. So I can only assume the worst. I literally sent people to investigate, tried everything to track them down. So that series kind of went dormant for a long time. When we decided to relaunch as the Absolute Universe with White Widow, it just made sense to make Wayward Sons and Wayward Legends a part of this universe. So I was finally able to put the titles correct. So Wayward Legends is the story of the aliens that crash landed 5,000 years ago, and that war between the Olympians. It's Olympians, not Olympians, named after the ship, the Olympia, that they crash landed on, and the Titans, which are Tytans, who crash landed in Egypt, and that was their prison ship that crash landed there. So in the desert. So they're named that based on the ship as a kind of a shorthand. Thus, you get the Olympians and the Titans. As I said, the tactic that I always took on the series was I'm not trying to retell mythology. I hate that. It's a little bit lazy. Instead, what I'm doing is I'm saying that these are the stories that I wanted to tell, and the myths and the legends all got it wrong. And so what I did inspired those other myths and legends. So, a character named Herc, and you got a character named Surus, who's like obviously inspired Zeus, and the other one, Hercules. Not related at all. Not even the same, from the same planet. So, yes, they do have abilities, and the series explains that, and so forth. So you can follow throughout history that. So when we decided to put it in the Absolute Universe, the reason why I'm blowing out these versions of book, we are going to take with this, and I remastered them. So, because I didn't like how they were lettered, some of the dialogue, I thought I could do much better. I've grown as a writer, and some of the artwork was a little clunky. So, so the new versions that you can purchase in stores are all, which we do have those available in the first issues in the Dragon Con store. Those are all at a very kind of introductory thing, but at the same time a very remastered edition. But if the overall story is still the same, so you can read it for free on KeenSpot. If you do want to get the hardcovers or softcover trade collection editions, they're really nice. But just understand that what's coming out now is vastly different as far as artistically than original. Also, we're going to be changing the order of the books and a lot of other things, so it'll be quite interesting. We have over 20-something issues, like 25, 26 issues done in the White Widow, in the Wayward Legends series. and they're all being remastered. Those will begin dropping monthly starting this November, December. So every month you'll be able to get a new remastered. Got a quick comment, a couple comments. David Shepard says he wanted to say hello. He was one of the major donors. So on the first issue of White Widow, we had some people who they were able to buy a package and be drawn in as a character, and we killed him off. So, and then we've got another person saying there he's enjoying the books. Keep up the great work. Thanks, Trinity. We appreciate it. We love having people reading the books. We are going monthly. David wanted to clarify that he was the first person killed by by White Widow. That's her first kill, so that's an honor. Wayward Sons. So we have Wayward Legends. Wayward Sons is set in the modern day, and they are, because the Wayward Legends are practically immortal. They can have children with humans, and those children, for lack of a better word, are like demigods. They have abilities, but you've got the parents way up here and their abilities way down here. The Wayward sons and daughters of them. So what happened is, the backstory is, in the 40s, when they were doing the Manhattan Project out in the Nevada desert, the nuclear bombs woke up the legends who were in stasis. And they looked at the state of the world. They've got nuclear weapons. They're using them to try and kill one another. Things have gone from bad to worse. And this whole, they felt like this whole non-interference directive wasn't working, wasn't a good idea. And so they all kind of just rebelled and went their own separate ways. A few people remain loyal to Surus, but you have a lot, like hundreds of these beings that have been since the 40s in our world doing Lord only knows what, but more importantly, having children. So right now, where Wayward Sons picks up is, you've got a group of them. One of them is the son of Surus, and he's putting together and rescuing some of these wayward sons and daughters to protect them, because someone is hunting them down. Somehow the Titans who'd been sent to another dimension are back. They're starting to come back, and they're hunting down these children. And by children, I mean they're in their 20s. So two very different series, but the same basic type of story. They're both what I like to call science fiction mythology. One is set in the past, one is set in the present. But they are very much a part of the White Widow universe. And that's important to understand. The things that happened that entire time, a lot of the technology that we have in the White Widow universe may have come from them or been inspired. Who knows? Maybe they inspired the cell phone. Maybe they're the reason our computers got advanced so fast. Who knows? But they've secretly been living among us. And the Wayward Legends is kind of how they went through history, while the Wayward Sons is what's going on now. They will cross over more and more with White Widow and the other titles. The series itself is drawn by Nigel Rayner, who is a phenomenal artist. He's, I believe he did some X-Men stuff for Marvel and things like that. Uh, Many of you may have seen um, some of the books that he came out with, or that we came out with digitally. They are now available as well on the Dragon Con site. The link I gave down below. Let me give the link again. Here we go. For those of you interested, which, by the way, let me point out, if you do have a question or a comment, let me know in the comments real time. I'm happy to answer any of your comments. But you do have the ability to purchase there. It's under White Widow Universe, and you can get the Wayward Sons or Wayward Legends first issues. Second issues are on their way to the printer right now, and I will show you guys those covers. We did, so for Wayward Sons, we did 2 covers. The first cover is kind of a painted cover. Let you see this kind of just shows you, this is, if you're familiar with Wayward Legends, this is Cassandra, and she's showing kind of some history that had gone down. Then we did a cover B, which we call the I Make Boys Cry cover. This is by Crease Art. He is, if you notice, I'll see if I can zoom in. We like to do for the specials kind of little hidden Easter eggs. This was a tie-in for the fact that I Make Boys Cry is premiering in this same month. So you can kind of see right there the first issue of that. Then we've got let me pull up. We've got for issue for Wayward Legends number 2. We've got several covers. We've got, this is the A cover. It's obviously a split cover. Then we've got the I Make Boys Cry variant. This is by Eduardo Francesco. Again, you can see there's Slice trying to sneak up on Cassandra. And then we have a lenticular which will animate. So those are the issue 2s. I just pulled out as well. As I was saying, these are in the Dragon Con store. These came out in July. This is the A cover. This was the B cover. The A cover, by the way, is a wraparound foil. This was the C cover. Pull this off so you can see. It's what we call the White Widow variant. And again, the reason we say it's a White Widow variant is a little Easter egg. You can see her crouching right back there. This is by Jamie Tyndall. So it also is a foil. That's the rare variant. And then this is the rarest of the variants. It's the blue foil variant, which has the Titans on the front. It is also a wraparound. Then for the issue ones for Wayward Sons, this is the A, also had foil. This is the very rare blue edition. We just did, I think we did less than 500 copies of this. I believe this is sold out at Diamond. So we have just a few of these left. And again, these are sold out. This is the Jamie Tyndall White Widow. And again, there she is, crouched and hiding in the background. So that was a lot of fun. We like to put little Easter eggs like that. Then for issue 3 of, and as I said, the issues are going much faster. Issue 3 of Wayward Legends, you've got, they're going to, it's the first issue where they're going to go to face off against the Titans. Issue 4 is where they then have to kind of infiltrate the Titans and so forth. I can actually, that's the one those are both in solicits. Issue 2s, I should mention, both of them are at the printer. So they're already done. I wish there was an easy way for me to show the lenticulars. I've seen the lenticular for the Wayward Legends. It's actually pretty awesome. Where are we? So for issue 3 of Wayward Sons, I'll start there because that's actually what's up on my screen. This is the A cover for Wayward Sons, and this is the B cover, which will be a foil cover. And then we have a C cover that is a metallic ink virgin. So you can get each one of those. And then the issue 4s, this is the A cover, the foil B cover, and this will be a metallic ink, I believe, as well, C cover. So we do have a lot of fun covers coming through on those. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to chime in. Now that all these titles are coming out and together in the same time span, how many variants are there going to be per title? That's a good question. It's going to vary in some instances based on creative, in some instances based on impact. Like, for instance, with Darkon number 3 and White Widow number 6, those two actually cross over. Obviously, we're going to do a Kickstarter on that, so we're going to have about 15 covers, which we normally had. We used to have up to 50. We kept going down. But we're now down to about 15, 3 retail covers, and about a dozen Kickstarter covers. And that includes the sketch covers and the metal variants and stuff like that. Darkon will have significantly less because it's the lesser known title. And we don't want to burden, we're trying not to burden our audience. So it only has 1 retail cover, and about, I think we're probably going to end up like 5, 6 covers for it that are for the Kickstarter. And that will be in 1 Kickstarter. So not 2 different Kickstarters. For the rest, now for the rest of the Absolute line, for instance, we're going to be launching a Kickstarter. Most fingers crossed that it goes through the review and everything quickly. We plan to launch a Kickstarter this upcoming week that would have all of the issue 1s and all of the issue 2s available in it. That way everyone can get them all in one place. If they missed them, because some of them aren't available from retailers and stuff like that. So, as well as we're going to have some exclusives for that. So, again, this is going to vary, but you guys will be able to collect everything. For most of the other titles, we'll probably have, on average, 3, 4 at the most cover variants. A lot of times it'll just really depend on, we'll probably have 1 to 3 at the most through retail, and only 1 or 2 on a Kickstarter extra, if any. There are some titles that just we don't have the breadth or bandwidth yet. But that being said, as retailers come in, retailers can also do their exclusives. So we're also not trying to flood the market. But I firmly believe that all of these series are, for collectors, as you guys say, these are key issues, first appearances and so forth. So these will be highly collectible as they begin to interact with the White Widow universe as a whole. Like I said, this is absolutely part of the White Widow universe. And you'll see I Make Boys Cry crossover with them, and so on and so forth. In fact, we kind of started that crossover. I did the Markiplier series. Let me see if I can. May not have it readily at hand, but it is in the store. Wayward Sons was in the first issue of Markiplier, which is part of the bundle set for Markiplier. So someone asked, is there a way of submitting ideas for push goals for upcoming Kickstarters? You can always comment on our Facebook page or through whitewidowcomic@gmail.com or services@absolutecomics.net. We do read all of those, and we're open to new ideas for push goals and things like that. We do try and vary things up. We also try to do things that are different. For instance, I've had one of the number one requested things is people keep saying guitar picks. We're not trying to copy Brian Pulido. So that's kind of his thing. Maybe if we have a series that's heavily musically influenced, we might look at that. I will say this, across the board, there is a lot of work going on behind the scenes that we can't really talk about. At one point, Wayward Legends and Wayward Sons, for instance, were being developed as a movie. It is now, it's kind of morphed a bit. It's now being worked on as a TV series that will go between the eras. So fingers crossed that can materialize. That's not something I'm in charge of. Um, People who are far better than I am at that side of stuff are handling. I'm swamped as it is with this. We are also looking at other merchandise, toys, statues, and so forth. Another thing we are looking to do, as far as merchandise wise, you see the big prints behind us. We're partnering with someone to be able to offer those, so people can basically get a nice canvas print of any of our art. So that's something hopefully we can institute soon. So, but we are always open and listen to you guys, because you guys know what you're looking for more than we do. But yeah, Wayward Sons, Wayward Legends absolutely is something that is a lot of fun. It's near and dear to my heart, and I hope you guys enjoy it. The artwork is done for Wayward Sons all the way through to, I think, issue 6. So issue 3, I believe, is like a supersized issue. It's like 32 pages of story. So someone's the Storefolio with metal covers. Some Absolute Universe themed short boxes. Yeah, we've got BCW is working on creating White Widow Storefolios, as well as that we have announced, as well as the short boxes with Jamie's art for White Widow. Based on how well those do, we'll see right now the top 3 titles are White Widow, I Make Boys Cry, and then Dual Identity, which, if you missed it, we just had a long panel on that with my wife Jenna, who's co-writing that with me. So those would probably be. Katrina is another series which we'll be talking about tomorrow morning in the Vampires and Monsters and More series panel. That one is actually, I think, are very close to Dual Identity in sales. But we do have, for instance, the Storefolios that we do, which have the metallic inks, which we produce. Personally, I like these because they cover a bit more, and it gives a nice print. They also tend to not get damaged, and we do have those numbered. That's the same as those Storefolios are what I think we're down to 8 of the Dragon Con exclusives that we have on that. We have not yet done one for the rest of the Absolute Universe, but that's probably something, as we get more product, we'll start doing for those, as well as some exclusives and things like that. Obviously, our biggest hit is White Widow, but as people start seeing that these connect, we feel like the rest of the Absolute line will start getting more breadth to it. Is there any other questions anyone has? Feel free to chime in. If not, I believe that kind of takes us up to today, and we absolutely appreciate you guys. Feel free. There are links down below in YouTube if you look at this, or if you go to the Facebook page for White Widow, do /live. You can see this one if you missed part of this and review, or you can see some of the past panels. Also look for the updates. We're coming up on the tonight's at 8 o'clock. We will have a a I Make Boys Cry panel where we'll talk about that. And then a lot more panels we'll be announcing tomorrow as well as Monday. So I want to thank you guys for joining us, and we'll be talking to you soon. Bye.